like for Africans to come here, you're privileged. Like for us, like we're from Sierra Leone. My parents, my mom moved here in the 80s. And like, a lot of the Sierra Leoneans that grew up here. And that happens for like other African cultures. Like, the Africans here, you're doing well. The Nigerians are doing well. The Liberians, like a lot of people are doing well. But it's really, you're the essentially the cream of the crop. You were like the top of the top. You were the elites in your country, and you're coming here and you're saying like, "Oh, look at us. We're all doing well." And you're essentially comparing the top 10, 20, 30% of the people from your nation with everybody that's
Yeah,
Black American,
facts.
whether they're the elite, like, so it's like it's not a fair comparison at all, because we're comparing the cream of the crop. Like, we're predisposed to being more successful as Africans in America, because you wouldn't be here if you didn't have privilege.
Exactly.
And then you're taking that and comparing it to all Black Americans, and it's not a fair comparison. And we got to be real as Africans and make sure that we call that out.
Yeah.
You got to call it out. So you can't just sit here and talk down on Black Americans, saying, "Oh," because there's a lot of Black Americans that are doing very well. So if you compare their top 10% or 20% to the Africans, like, they're probably doing better. So
Yep.
it's like you can't even. But we don't. You don't want to have that conversation. So we got to be very real
Yep.
and make sure it's apples to apples.
Ever since the grassroots decided to step away from that Democratic plantation, that Republican plantation, and name ourselves and be separate from the group. We came out from amongst them and be ye separate, right? 2 Corinthians 6:17. We're doing our own thing. We're thinking for ourselves. We're manifesting our own realities. We're not living through their systems anymore because we found out that it's gotten us nowhere. It's been a colossal failure. We've been getting a lot of pushback from Latinos and a lot of Caribbean and African people. They told us that we can't have our own identity. We can't self-identify. We don't have no culture. A lot of them have a lot of very nasty and disparaging things to say about us. And when we push back, they say, well, we only doing this now because you made fun of us. You called us booty scratcher and all these different stupid things that they bring up from 40 years ago, right? Then they got the audacity to say that they outpacing us. They're making more money than us. They don't, like, it's just a whole bunch of foolishness, right? Online. And there's a lot of Africans that are 10 toes down and Caribbeans that are 10 toes down that behold these people accountable and be calling these people out, right? But that doesn't stop their thought process, because I said in the past live stream, when you guys are talking about we called y'all African booty scratchers and called y'all names, you know what I noticed is always one-sided. You never ever come and talk about the disparaging things that your parents said about us and why they told y'all to stay away from us, right? Why y'all built communities separate from us. Y'all never mention that. It's just a one-sided conversation, a one-sided argument, to the point where a lot of y'all are just talking like this.
Black Americans, please leave Africans out. I really hope this lands because I'm sick and tired of seeing this conversation on FYK. I promise you, none of us calls you African American. The entire Africa calls you guys Black American. We don't think you're African Americans. We don't even think you're African. You guys are so different from. And what culture are you talking about that Africans steal from you? That's the funniest bit I've heard. What culture? Africa has 54 countries and we have over 1 billion tribes. Each tribe is attached to tradition and norms. We do culture things that you don't even have. For example, I am a Muganda from Uganda. That's my tribe. And we have Buganda things that we do in our Buganda kingdom. We have the Basoga, the Banyankole. Do you even know what that is? Culture. What culture do we want to... What culture do we copy? Do you even have culture? If I ask you what's your tribe in Black America, like what's your tribe? Do you even know what that is? Give me 3 culture norms that you have or traditions that you do. Do you have? What is your staple food? Nothing. So what culture? What culture? We don't quote Martin Luther King. We quote Nelson Mandela. You who flock Africa coming to look for him. Be flocking Ghana and Nigeria looking for those ancient slave markets. And now all of a sudden you don't want to be attached to slave.
What are you talking about? Nigerian men? I don't think you want to go to Africa. Let's stay out of Africa and let's focus on America.
When I say that as in, we know for a fact when it comes to being an African-American Black man.
Black
or
American,
woman,
not African, Black American. Get it right.
Black American, man, woman, a lot of us did not grow up in 2-parent homes. That's all I'm saying. So when you don't grow up in a 2-parent home, you don't, as a woman, you don't understand that role of being submissive, of being feminine, of being in touch with your feminine side. Because 9 times out of 10, your mother is either playing mama and daddy, and she's being more masculine than feminine, showing you the independent Black woman mindset.
Okay, and that's to say
then you have men who don't grow up, Black American men who don't grow up as a father, who don't grow up with a role model to show them how to treat a woman,
I agree with that.
love a woman, how to speak
Yeah, I
with
agree
a
with
woman.
that.
That's why when I said that, it didn't mean, I didn't say it as, oh, they have better marriages. It's just that they have, when you look at, that's their culture. Like, it's not a great thing, but it's their culture, is to stay together, be married, 2-parent home, where our culture has been changed a lot because of the oppression we have dealt with.
Yeah,
So
we
now
don't disagree with that. We don't disagree with that. But when you try to like compare places of other countries where you're assuming that everybody has the same historical construct. See, the difference is, you just proved my point. Black America has our issues because of a systematic oppression that was put upon us from day one. All of the separation of Black family, that started in the 1960s. Most of us was married at like an 85% rate before the 1970s. The difference is, when you try to say that, you're assuming that that's done by just our own fruition. No, it's not. Nigeria.
No, I didn't assume that.
Let me finish. You did assume that. Yes, you did.
I'm gonna let you finish, but do not put thoughts or assumptions into.
No. I didn't say you said that. I'm saying that you're insinuating.
Okay. I know enough of my.
Be quiet. I said you're insinuating that, because when you want to talk about Nigeria and Jamaica are the 2 countries with the highest paternity fraud. Like 35% of the fathers don't even know if they're the father of their child. They have one of the highest percentages of men who are abusing their wives, and they don't even have and half of that stuff, even if it's a high percentage, they don't even have the paperwork to prove it, because the police force is so messed up in these countries. They don't even care to even keep the statistics on these things. So when you say things, you need to understand world affairs before you start speaking out of term, ma'am. So that's the point that I'm making. Our thing is different from over there. So when you try to bring up these other countries, know what you're talking about. And if anybody doesn't think I'm being honest about that, go look up the paternity fraud and who has the highest paternity fraud. Like, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's talk about America. And let me ask you this: where's your family? Where's your family from? Where's your family from?
My family.
Now, us outside of us calling them African booty scratchers, we was the ones pushing Pan-Africanism. We were always pushing Pan-Africanism. We had the foremost forerunners of pushing Pan-Africanism. The teachers, from Dr. John Henry Clark to Marimba Ani to Naeem Akbar, Dr. Naeem Akbar. And I mean, so on and on and on and on and on. I can go on. There's so many people that's written books about our connection to Africa, right? But yet and still, when I was growing up, like I said, we had Nakim Shabazz, we had the Native Tongue family, we had the Jungle Brothers. We had all of this stuff celebrating Africa. We celebrated Africa more than we celebrated our own achievement and accomplishments. So that's why I'm saying it's one-sided. You people are liars, right? And you're fleers of your country. And I'm talking about the ones that come on here to say these disparaging things about us. Not the brothers and sisters that's 10 toes down. So a lot of y'all, stop acting like you can't hear or understand what we're saying. Because we just said it 1,000 times, right? We're not talking about you that support us. We're talking about these detractors that come out here and say a whole bunch of foolish, ignorant stuff, man, to the point where a lot of our young FBAs gotta do these videos.
It's okay to abuse foundational Black Americans. It's okay as long as the abuse is not reciprocal. As long as you guys don't punch back, it's okay.
Right.
Okay. Because we've been called akatas, we've been called lazy, we've been said, people say we don't have no culture. I mean, Kai Sanat's gone viral saying that we don't have no culture.
Yep.
Frank has gone viral saying that we don't have no culture. I mean, they say we don't have no culture. Or if we do have culture, it's drug dealing, it's baby mamas,
Twerking,
murder, it's crime. We don't do it. We're not sophisticated, low IQ, all of that stuff. And you don't see Pan-Africanism saying anything. These are the same Pan-Africanists who, if we say something unfavorable, whether it's true or not true, most of the time it is true, about Africa, beyond like, y'all know y'all got tribal beasts. Here come Pan-Africanism. Oh, let's not start no diaspora war. But we can be told that we don't want to be seen at Juneteenth. I mean, at Carnival. They can sell us, hey, I don't want Black Americans at Carnival. Pan-Africanism, absent.
Yeah, not there.
Michael B. Jordan, Pan-Africanism, absent.
Yep.
When we try to step in their lane or do anything, whether we do it respectfully or not, Pan-Africanism, when they get to beating us up, talking about us, denigrating us, Pan-Africanism, absent.
Now today, Bishop George, Street Media TV, is going to checkmate the game. Because coming out of the Pan-Africanism, and now we're in a generation where we found out that nobody's practicing that but us. But everybody's trying to take our culture and say that we don't have one, while at the same time keeping their culture, but not allowing us into their culture. Now, when it comes to Pan-Africanism, the term Ma'afa, that was created by Marimba Ani. We created that, the Ma'afa, to describe the African Holocaust. We had people like Malefe Asante here at Temple University, right here at my school, right? Malanga Karenga, who created Kwanzaa. Dr. John Henry Clark, who created the African studies in the universities in the 60s. Asa Hilliard, right? Marimba Ani, Chancellor Williams, the destructions of black civilization. We were the ones pushing the line, right? We watched our grandparents, and those were the ones pushing the line. And now we're saying enough is enough because we found out that those people had no respect for our grandparents and the way that we were trying to push the line. We saw the elder, James Smalls, call out the Africans, right? So now when we're doing it and we're trying to name ourselves, that don't mean that we hate Africans. But I just showed you where that African said that they lie a lot. And they try to hold us to a standard that they don't hold themselves to. So now we're holding them accountable and we're calling it out. But it seems like we can be held accountable, right? We can be held accountable, but nobody can hold the African accountable. They're infallible. No. And in this video, I'm proving my point. Check this out.
The two most xenophobic groups of black people in the world are African Americans and South Africans. The thing that these two have in common is that both of them suffered the most and the longest at the hands of systematic racism, segregation, and racism in general. I am here to tell you that there is not a single thing you can do or say or show them to convince them otherwise. They are already part of the system, whether it's through tribalism, whether it's through xenophobia, whatever form they use to apart themselves from the entire African race. There's nothing you can do to get that person back. What we can do, however, is stop engaging with these people online. Stop giving them a platform. Every time you see a xenophobic comment and you go and you want to go and try and say something or fix it or whatnot, you are boosting that person's comment. And somebody who is still young, an African who is still young and impressionable and doesn't really understand the concept of unity or the world yet, will see it, and it will now live in the back of their mind, subconscious mind, and possibly sway them towards that side one day. The best thing for you to do when you do come across tribalist comments, xenophobic comments, is to either report it and move on, or don't say anything at all. Go and reply under a comment that boosts unification and Ubuntu. We cannot go back to save those who do not want to be saved, but we can assist in stopping them from spreading the hate into the future. Those who know that black people's power lies in togetherness know, and we have our plans. We know what is the way forward. Let starve those people so their movement can die. Do you understand? That's all I came to say.
Now you see how that whole thing that she just went through was one-sided. Everything was about us and us not wanting to unify and us being a problem. When I just showed you guys, we were the ones practicing Pan-Africanism. Y'all was the ones being xenophobic. You guys are xenophobic towards each other. And she picked out foundational black Americans and South Africans, those of us that went through forms of apartheid and slavery. That's what she did. She's so stupid, she don't realize that she being xenophobic and trying to accuse us of being xenophobic. The tribalism that y'all practice is the problem. Because you come over thinking that we don't have a culture and you can't tell. No, we know more damn near about y'all countries than y'all know about your own countries. You only know about your tribes. And we've been calling this stuff out and exposing this stuff for some time now. Now, there's some writers that's been called these people out and holding them accountable. Because these people are delusional. And you have people in their country that are standing out, that do revere and respect foundational Black Americans. And a lot of them are coming out and they're saying this.
A lot of Africans don't want to admit it, but as much as you have a lot of prejudice towards Black Americans, why do you try so hard to be like them, specifically the men? You're like, I'm like, be yourself, because why are you dressing like you're a Black American? You live in a mostly dominated African area. You don't even, the way in which you say that N-word sounds like you're using it as a slur, because at a certain point, you are calling them akata, which I think is actually a slur, like a general slur referring to them. You are calling them that word, but you're using the N-word in the same sentence, dressing like them, trying to be like them with their lingo and slang and their language in your mouth, and you're still referring to them as a slave. Something is wrong. Some African countries, some Africans, specifically Nigerians, I'm not even going, specifically Nigerians, why do y'all do that? Because the way you're weaponize that word akata, it makes me uncomfortable. I don't care if we don't mean it in that way. If the people you're using the words towards consider it a slur, it is a fucking slur. What is wrong with y'all? Y'all try to be these people and then y'all go out of your way to make them uncomfortable. Like, what the fuck is going on? You are dressing like them. You are using their slang. Your AFE is majority of your language. You are even using the N-word. Ooh, but in the same sentence, you're calling them a slave. Come on, base. Come on. What is going on? Y'all got to work on yourself. Something is wrong up there. I don't understand it. I genuinely feel like y'all are misguided. Y'all are culturally misguided. Y'all need to come back. Y'all need to self-reflect. Something is not right up there. And I don't care if you take offense to this video, because I'm calling all of you out, because it's actually upsetting me now. Because not every African country use that word as a slur. Not every African country use that word, period. It's mostly Nigerians that use that word akata. And I even feel like they were the one that came up with it. I'm not sure. I don't know what the fuck is up with y'all referring to Black Americans as that, but that is not acceptable, or is it right? Like, what?
Hey, so I have a question for non-Americans. How come only Black Americans owe you an explanation of where they're really from? How come Black Jamaicans don't owe you an explanation of where they're really from? How come Black Brazilians don't owe you an explanation of where they're really from? How come Black Colombians and Black Panamanians and Black anybody else, how come they don't owe you an explanation of where they're really from? How come when people from any other country who are Black tell you, I'm from Panama, I'm from Brazil, I'm from Dominican Republic, wherever it is, how come you take them for what they say when they say it, but when a Black American says, I'm American, you ask them, okay, but where are you really from? Why are you always calling Americans dumb when you don't understand the transatlantic slave trade and you don't understand that all these people came on the same boats, just on different stops? And on top of that, how come a Black American who has been here since, I don't know, the 1500s, how come they have to be from somewhere else in Africa? But if a white American whose grandparents came here in like 1920 from Italy says that they're Italian, you're like, no, you're not Italian. You're American. You're not Italian. How come that Black American can't just be American? Please get back to me.
Also, as a Haitian, what African Americans are saying about Haitian people, like, you know, that was kind of crazy. But at the end of the day, like, Haitians, Caribbeans, and Africans do come to this country and they be trying to shit on African Americans. Like, it's not cute, it's not cool, it's weird. Like, we're all Black at the end of the day. But I've heard my family say really ignorant stuff before and I had to correct them. It's not all of us, but it is a lot of them. And we can't just ignore the fact that, you know, Haitian and Caribbean and African people be doing that. Like, they have...
Okay, there's a lot of things we can use as an excuse to hold us back, to not to reach our potential. But it's up to us to look past that. You know, like me coming from Africa, I came here to better my life, my family. I'm the only one here. And since I have been here, there's a lot of bad things that happen to me. There's also a lot of good things that happen to me. Us African or African American, we need to like look past like racism and not just focus on our own goal. Like, what do we want to achieve? And we need to stop using the word racism when we don't get something or when something don't go our way, and just keep trying.
I've been waiting to disagree with you, my brother. I'm waiting patiently. The thing is, even though I want to disagree with you, I get where you're coming from. When I see black people talking about racism, all that stuff, I'm like, what is wrong with these people? You guys have food, you have EBT, all this thing, and you're here shouting about somebody is racist too. Just leave that person and move on. I feel that way. Like, why are they always like complaining? But when Black Lives Matters started happening, like, I sat down, I said, I need to actually know why these people are pained. And if we look at the history, what they've done to them, like if you actually sit down, watch some documentaries, how they were maltreated, I don't think if I'm actually born, I will forgive those people. I don't care. It's easier for us Africans that were raised in Africa to feel like they're complaining because we were raised through struggle. Like, I barely even have water, and you have water, you're complaining. But then, it's not about the basic necessity or about how we are raised. We are raised like, I don't want to say way better. We might not have resources, but there's some way, like our own people will not look down on us or put us behind. So it's in their nurture that way. Like, they just can't overlook it. And if you sit down and watch everything that the forefathers have been through for you, I changed my mind. No, they need to be angry. However, they should still move forward.
So shout out to the riders in the diaspora that's 10 toes down, because we rock with y'all. We don't have a problem with y'all. I mean, you got renegades in every lineage, you know, that come out and say a whole bunch of crazy stuff. But the majority of us in this FBA lineage, we don't hate Africans or brothers and sisters from the Caribbean. We don't like the tethers, the one that come here and like these brothers and sisters just said, go out of their way to say disparaging things about us and uphold and support W supremacy, while at the same time trying to accuse us of doing it. Where I just showed you guys in the video, we have a whole history. We have the whole history of promoting Afrocentrism, Pan-Africanism. We were the ones pushing this and pushing the line forward. We was the ones holding the door open and providing a seat, an extra seat for the Jamaican or the Haitian or the Nigerian. We provided the extra seat, only for y'all to get in those positions in those seats and turn around and say and crap on us, right? You guys come here and don't even understand the history of how you got here. And y'all talk down and talk bad about us and talk bad to us. Like, it's insane. It's crazy. It's crazy. And then we call this out. It's like, oh, we being xenophobic. No, you guys are xenophobic. You're practicing xenophobia when you come here and don't even study the history of our culture and who we are and how you got here, but then have nerve to have an opinion on us as a people, right? To the point where your people got to come out and check you, right? So I'm in the gym. Y'all saw the video I put up a couple days ago. I got with my friends from the Caribbean and from Africa, right? I'm around people that, remember, you teach people how to treat you. They respect foundational Black American culture. I make sure of that. You're not going to be in my presence disrespecting me. You're not going to be in my presence making comments like, well, you guys ain't had nothing to do with us getting here. No, as a Black person, you say that we all Black and you want me to respect your culture, you damn sure going to respect mine. Or you're going to get away from me, or we're going to have a problem. I ain't playing with you. I'm not playing with you. We ain't playing them kind of games. You in Philadelphia, one of the blackest cities in America, and if you come around us, you damn sure going to respect our culture, right? The same way I'm going to respect yours. I'm not walking around trying to disrespect Igbos, right? Ashanti people, Akan people. I don't walk like that. I don't walk in that kind of spirit. When I go into, if I go into an African's house or African's place, I'm going to walk in there as a guest, right? With humility and respect, because that's the way my big mama taught me, right? But you guys come here and you talk about you got so much custom, so much tradition, so much culture, but you don't, your culture must be trash because you come here and you act like trash towards the very people that look like you, that had a responsibility in you getting here. You start to trash those people. So what would that tell me about your culture? Now, let me rephrase that because I don't like to talk like that. I'm not going to say that your culture is trash because there's a lot of good people that's connected to that culture that's not trash. So take that from the record. I want to make sure I want to take that back because I want to watch my words. When you put something out there to the algorithm, you don't take it back. I'm not saying African culture is trash. What I'm saying is the people that's come here, that say that they got this such great culture, they're not behaving in the way that their culture would say that they should behave. So those people are trash. They're behaving in trash, not African culture. Because I know a lot of good African people. One of my good friends is from the Ivory Coast. He's a Mandingo, and I would never say that his culture or that brother's trash, because he's actually a 10 toes down brother. He's a good brother, right? But a lot of these people that come over here that behave a certain way, nah, man, we don't rock with y'all, man. But y'all gotta let me know what y'all think, man. If you made it this far in the video, hit that like button. Subscribe to Street Media TV. Leave your comments in the comment section. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.